Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we are in Skyfire War. I'm going to feature my 6 war hits with commentary. If you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and turn that notification bell on so you can be alerted of when I drop new content. And I've mentioned before, I am a member of the Guardians family of alliances. We have 16 total alliances, ranging from brand new alliances to mid-level alliances, competitive alliances. We have a German-only speaking alliance. So if you are looking for a new alliance, hit me up on the Line app. My contact info there is in the description of this video, or comment on one of my videos and I am sure that I can help find an alliance for you. Without further ado, let's get into my 6 war hits. With my first flag, we're going to bring Oni Wakamaru and Lord Loki up against this Bernadette tank team. They've also got Grovert, Ruan Zauki, Dulafleur, and Sable. I've got Guardian Gazelle, who will give the dancing effect to everybody but herself to avoid Bernadette's painting as well, and then Richard as a hard-hitting blue with Dia-chan as a healer. We do also have a blue dragon. All right, so I need 5 blues to get Oni Wakamaru activated, which we will definitely be able to get pretty much right away. I'm going to start off with these 3 red tiles up against Dulafleur. That will set off a cascade of 3 blues, and then I can match the other 3 on the left. Or we could get a cascade of blues as well. Do not set off Bernadette, please. Oh my god. Thank you. Actually, I am not going to use Oni Wakamaru because... Actually, it doesn't matter if I use him or not. I can still copy Lord Loki's special. So let's use him in case if, for whatever reason, there's a crazy cascade. But let's match these 3 blues on the left. And I might not get Lord Loki's special anyway because he does have that moth dust. And I did not get his special. That is a bummer. Alright, well, we could definitely kill Bernadette. Let's do that right now with the minor part of Richard. And I'd like to try to kill Sable if we can before she can revive anybody. Let's ghost these 3 yellow tiles. And then I'm going to match these 3 purples so that I can get Dia-chan and her minions. So let's heal with Dia-chan. I'm going to match these 3 yellows on the right, on the top right, I think. It's going to set off a little cascade of greens and then reds underneath it. And I'm going to match these 3 greens on the left to set off that cascade of yellows and blues. Alright, let's use my blue dragon. And then I'm going to heal with Guardian Gazelle and get the dancing so that I can also get rid of this firestorm damage. And now I'm going to copy Ruan Zauki's special, I think. Actually, they've got that ward on there. I might hold on to Lord Loki for after Sable probably revives Bernadette. Yeah, let's do that. For now, I'm going to match these 3 yellows in the middle. We may as well use Oni Wakamaru now so that Ruan Zauki only hits him. I am going to match the 3 blues in the middle, I think. That way one of them gets ghosted. Sable's about to go off, which means she's probably going to revive Bernadette. I'm going to match these 4 purples up against Dulafleur so I can match the reds next turn. Or not. That's okay. Let's match the 4 yellows now so that I can get Guardian Gazelle, maybe? Yes, awesome. That way we can get rid of this Firestorm Ward. Now, I am going to do some tile dumping and match these 3 purples in the middle here. That was a lot more tile dumping than I thought was going to happen, but that will work. Bernadette did get revived. Let's use Dia-chan and Oni Wakamaru. I don't think it's really going to matter much because of that Mega Fiend for Oni, though. Let's copy Bernadette special with Lord Loki. It's going to dispel first. And then let's use Richard on the right over here. I need to kill Sable so that she doesn't revive again. Now, I'm going to match these 3 yellow tiles up against Bernadette. I am going to match these 3 blues on the bottom, I think. Yeah. And Bernadette is dead again, and so is Duelfleur. How many more turns do they have this painting for? 3 more turns. Okay, let's use our blue dragon. I do need to make sure that Sable goes off before she runs out of the painting. Let's match these 3 purple so I can heal with Dia-chan before she dies, hopefully. And I'm going to hit this green dragon so I can match the blues next turn. Let's copy Ruan Zhaoqi's special with Lord Loki. Let's see if we can kill Sable with Richard. Or actually, I should be able to kill Sable with those 3 blue tiles. Let's hit Ruan Zhaoqi with Richard. Perfect. That worked out amazing. Now, let's match these 3 purples so that I can... Actually, that's not going to matter. I'm not going to be able to heal with Dia-chan anyway. Let's match these 3 yellows so that I can get Guardian Gazelle at least to heal. Timer is going off, so we do need to move this battle along a little bit here. Let's match these 3 reds so I can match the blues next turn. And let's match those now since Grovert's about to go off anyway. Match these 3 yellows, and then I'm going to match the 4 blues next turn. And now that we can get a Mega Fiend on Grovert, we should be able to kill him pretty quickly now, I think. Oh yeah, especially with Richard's special that just went off. Alright, and we are 1 for 1 to start off this war. With my second flag, we're going to go up against another Bernadette tank team. They've also got Fafnir, Song Jiang, Duelfleur, and Li Q. I've got Kushanku, who will get mindless attack in just 5 tiles, Sludges for the dancing effect for everybody but herself, Medea for the shifting mindless attack, Starlass, who makes it so that when an enemy, or 3 enemies actually, get full mana, they get a ton of damage and like 75% reduced damage. And then I've also got Satin Pimenter here as a priority dispeller in case if Duelfleur does go off, then we can get rid of that inability to get any ailments. Let's see how this second flag here goes. All right, we got lots of greens to start. That will work, including a green diamond I can match. And let's hit that green diamond. I need to wait for Li Q to get his special gone through. I'm going to match these 3 blues to set off that cascade of yellows and so that I can match more yellows the next turn. And now let's use Starlass on the 3 on the right. Song Jiang has the ailment immunity ether power, so I do not want to use that on him, obviously. Now, let's match these purples and yellows. It's going to give me Kushanku now. Now we need to set off Bernadette before the next 2 turns. Let's match these 3 blues on the bottom, I think. I'm holding on to Kushanku for a moment. Probably going to use that on Bernadette again as well. Now, let's match the 3 greens up against Bernadette. Nice cascade of yellows. That is awesome. It's going to give me Satin Pimenter and Sludges as well. Let's use Satin Pimenter on the 3 on the right, I think. We might be able to kill Bernadette with this. And she is dead. Awesome. Okay. Now, I am going to try to use Kushanku on Dulifleur. Perfect. That worked out great. Now let's use Sludges so that when Sung Jiang and Fafner and Li Q go off, they should get some extra damage. Let's match these 3 purples so that I can get Medea's special. Dulifleur is dead. We should be able to kill Li Q before he goes off, actually. Let's match these 4 greens to move up that 1 yellow tile. And Li Q killed himself. Love it when that happens. Let's match these greens so that I can get Starlass's special again. I was really hoping to not set off Sung Jiang, but that's okay. I am going to hold off on matching, or rather using Starlass. I'm going to ghost these 3 yellow tiles. That's going to give me Kushanku, and that's it, actually. Let's use our yellow dragon. Now, I'm holding off on using those 2 specials because it's not going to help me right now. I'm going to match these 3 reds to match some yellows next turn. Now we can heal with Sludges. Or just kidding, Sludges is silenced. Alright, let's ghost these 4 purples so that I can get Medea's special. Now Sludges can use their special. Perfect. And now, let's use our specials over here. I'm going to use Satin Pimenter first so that we can dispel that defense up. And then let's use Starlass, and we should be able to kill them, actually, with Medea, maybe? Awesome. All right, we are 2 for 2 against Bernadette tank team so far. With my 3rd flag, we're going to take a small break from Bernadette tanks and move to this Gurik tank team, who he has been extremely annoying in wars lately. I'm bringing 3 purples and 2 greens up against him. I've got Dulifleurs to make it so that I cannot gain any ailments, which will be helpful for Sung Jiang and then also Quarry. I've got Sartana as a hard-hitting sniper, Vard for the Wither of both defense and attack, Fungustine as a healer and to give me that sticky surface to steal some buffs, and Grovert for a Mega Fiend dealer. Let's see how this 3rd flag here goes. Not a great board so far. I'm going to start off with the 3 reds up against Gurik. I need to try to tile dump as much as possible, and that's the only obvious cascade I'm seeing with those blues underneath. Now, I'm going to match the 3 yellows up against Gurik. Nice cascade with the purples. Let's move up that green tile so I can match some greens next turn, and a nice cascade of purples again. Awesome. Give me some more purples. Actually, almost killed Gurik before he went off. That would have been pretty awesome. Let's match these 3 greens now. Or do I want to match the blues horizontally up against Gurik first? Now let's match the 3 greens. Now I'm going to match the 3 reds vertically so I can get my purples. Nice cascading. And let's see if we can maybe kill Gurik with Sartana, or close to it maybe. I think I'm going to use Dueler Fuller first. Now let's use Dueler Fuller to heal, and then Sartana, see what kind of damage this does. 3,075 damage. Obviously they did get that Mega Minion for me doing more than 25% damage. I am going to match the 3 reds vertically, hoping I get a green in there maybe. Let's match these 3 blues. Probably should have waited to use a Dueler Fuller closer to when Song Jiang was going to go off, but let's match these 3 greens to set off that cascade of reds. Maybe that will set off Song Jiang. Not quite. Let's match these 3 purples and yellows over on the bottom. It's going to give me Vard next turn. So let's use Vard. Use our purple dragon. And then I think I'm going to tile dump with this red diamond. Yeah, it's also going to set off that cascade of greens on the right. Of course, my greens are silenced right now. Need everybody to stay alive. Let's match these 4 purples up top on the right now. Ranzao might be killing some people, though, unfortunately. Fungusine is dead. Gurik has that slime revive thing, I believe, right now. Yeah. I'm going to hit this purple dragon right now. It's going to give me Dueler Fuller to heal. I hope Dueler Fuller is still alive next turn. And Dueler Fuller is dead. Oh, man, so is Sartana. Alright, well, this is not going as planned. Let's match these 3 purples. Gurik is, like, a big problem. I should have planned better. I had a problem with him last war, too. I went 2 for 3 against him. Let's use Vard right now. Maybe the Wizard will help me out. And then we can kill Gurik, at least, by putting a Mega Fiend on him. Or do I want to put it on Song Jiang? Or I could put it on Ranzao Qi. Tough decision here. I could definitely kill Gurik. And with Hathor coming up soon, I think we're going to do that. We will at least make this battle a easier clean for whoever takes us on next. Now, let's do some tile dumping, I think, with this blue diamond. Grovert's dead. Vard is hanging by a thread. Gurik is at least dead, so that's good. Let's match these 3 purples up against Song Jiang, I think. Yeah. Vard's probably going to be dead this next turn anyway. Not quite. We got our purple dragon off. And I'm actually not going to be able to do any damage up against Sung Jiang with those 3 purples because of that Mega Minion. As you can see how much health that Mega Minion has from last turn. So I'm going to match the 3 purples on the right horizontally so we can at least hit Ranzhao Qi with 1 purple tile. And that is going to be the end of the battle. 1 for 3, or rather 2 for 3 now. With my 4th flag, we're going to go back up against a Bearded tank team. I've got Marjana and Magni for their Toon passive to have a 75% chance to resist the painting and buff dispels, which is going to help for when Revna goes off, because Revna casts Reflect on everybody, and then Yukonin makes it so that himself and nearby allies cannot have their buffs dispelled for 3 turns. So if I can get Revna and Yukonin off, then that's going to make it so that the paintings get reflected back to everybody. Damon is my kind of setup person for this battle because he makes it so that an enemy cannot cast any status effects for 3 turns. So ideally, if I can get at least 6 tiles for Damon before Bernadette goes off, that would be ideal. And of course, we have not many red tiles to start. All right, well, let's start off with the 3 reds on the right. And no reds, of course, come up. Let's match these 3 purples on the bottom left horizontally. All right, we did get a red, and that actually might work out okay. I'm going to match the 3 purples horizontally, setting off that cascade of greens. Hopefully we get a red somewhere in there. We did. We got a bunch of reds, actually. That's going to work out great. Okay, now let's match the 3 reds up against Bernadette. Do not set her off, please. Thank you. Now, I've got an interesting decision to make because I can either hit Bernadette with Damon to make it so that she definitely cannot cast any status effect buffs, or I can match the 3 reds. Actually, I cannot do that because that's also going to match the 3 greens, which is going to definitely set her off. Because I would like to have gotten Yukonin and Revna off first, but we're going to have to wait till round 2 of Bernadette going off for that to happen. Now, I almost do not want to kill Bernadette because I want those paintings reflected back. So I think I'm going to tile dump up against her a bit. Let's match the 3 greens in the middle here. Although Sung Jiang is going to make it so that some people get silenced. And how many turns is that silence for from his attack? 4 turns. Okay. I think I would rather use Yukonin and Revna and try to tile dump, and then I can just kill Bernadette if the 4 turns is going to wear off. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to use Marjana on Bramble since she does extra damage to green. Let's match these 3 greens so that I can next turn match the greens up top, setting off that cascade of purples underneath. And actually, I didn't even think about it, but the silence got reflected back. So that worked out great, actually. Let's use our red dragon. I'm going to use Damon on Gurik so that he cannot cast that thing with the slime revive on anybody. Now, let's get Magni's special. I'm going to match the 3 blues up against Sung Jiang. And I'd like to kill Bramble before he comes out of silence, if possible. Let's match these 3 yellows now. Ghosted up the middle. So Gurik just went off and he literally pretty much did nothing because of the effect from Damon. Let's match these 3 blues horizontally over here. Nice cascade, but the green, of course, we didn't get any reds, unfortunately. I am going to match these 3 yellows up against Sung Jiang, hoping I get a red underneath, and we did. That's going to set off Bramble. Actually, didn't. Bramble's going to go off next turn, though, I think. Let's hit this blue dragon. Actually, let's match these 3 blues ghosted, and that's going to give me Magni and Marjana. And let's see if we can do that same thing and try to do some extra damage to Bramble between Marjana and Magni, and he is dead. Perfect. Now, I'm going to match these 3 yellows horizontally so I can ghost 3 reds next turn and get Revna hopefully to heal. Hopefully everybody is still alive. Revna does have the mana generation decrease for 4 more turns. I'm just going to have to take a chance and do this, although please do not set off Sung Jiang, thank you. Alright, let's heal with Revna. And then Sung Jiang's going off anyway, so let's match some tiles up against him. I'm going to match these blues, or purples and yellows rather. And Gurik and Fergus are silenced again. That is awesome. Let's use Yukonin right now. And then if I can kill Sung Jiang over the next few turns, it's going to make life a lot easier being able to ghost tiles on the left. Let's use my red dragon and Marjana on Sung Jiang. Awesome, they're dead. Let's ghost these 3 red tiles, although I probably should have waited 1 more turn for the mana ailment to go away. I'm going to hold on to Damon for another turn or 2, 1 more turn since Gurik is silenced for 2 more turns. I am going to ghost these 3 yellow tiles. We do need to get this battle moving along a little bit. I'm going to use Damon on Gurik. And let's match these 3 blues on the top. Gurik is again going to do nothing. I am going to ghost these 3 yellow tiles so that I can match the reds next turn. And how many more turns do I have this negative mana generation? 5 more turns. Yeah, that's not going to work out. Let's match these 4 reds. Let's use our red dragon, see what damage that does. And I think I want to see if we can kill Gurik with Marjana. Please kill Gurik. Almost! Oh, man. Oh, that was too close. Okay. Let's match these 3 blues up against Gurik. And because of the mana generation, they did not get their special. Is Magni going to be able to kill Gurik? And he is. Awesome. Okay. Now, let's move up this red tile so I can ghost the 3 red tiles next turn. Nice cascading. We're going to get all of our specials except Magni. Let's heal with Revna. And then I think I'm going to wait until he gets his Mega Minion back to use my specials. Although once his special goes off, I'm going to get my mana decreased anyway. So yeah, let's use Damon and Marjana. Let's get Magni special. Nice cascading. Let's use our red dragon, match these 3 red tiles, which will give me my 3 red specials back. And we should be able to end this battle. Awesome. We are 3 for 4 this war. Next up, we're going to go up against another Bernadette tank team. This team, or alliance rather, has like 15 or 16 Bernadette tanks, so quite a bit of Bernadettes. And this time around, I'm going to bring Oni Wakamaru and Lord Loki back. I have 2 copies of each, and I like to use them together, as Oni Wakamaru being the setup for Lord Loki. I've also got Medea for the Shifting Miles attack, Von Rothbert for the dancing effect, Dia-chan as our primary healer. Let's see how this 5th flag here goes. All right, I am going to start off with the blues and yellows all the way on the left. Now let's match these 3 reds, setting off that cascade of a green diamond. Really need some blue somewhere in there. All right, actually, that'll work. Let's match these 3 greens, or rather, hit the green diamond, so I can match the blue next turn. Now let's match these 3 blues on the right, and we're going to use Oni Wakamaru right after that. And actually, we're going to get a couple purple specials, actually all of our purple specials as well. Everybody stay alive, please. Thank you. Let's heal with Dia-chan and use our purple dragon. And then I'm going to use Oni Wakamaru. And then we're going to use Medea on Saris, I think. Or do I want to use Medea on Bernadette or Hrothgar? We're actually going to get our purple specials back in a moment anyway. And where Oni Wakamaru has the taunt, I think I'd rather hit 3 enemies. So basically either I'm going to get Oni Wakamaru silenced or I'm going to get him turned into a painting. So we might as well have him get silenced. And then let's hit that purple diamond so that... Oh no, that didn't work against Bernadette. Because of Hrothgar's passive. I always forget about that. He has a 75% chance to dispel an ailment when he gets hit with a special skill. That is definitely my bad on that. Although we just got lucky. So that worked out. Let's use Dia-chan to heal and to give me some more minions. I am going to use Medea on the 3 in the middle again, I think. We'll see if we get a chance to... Actually, you know what? I want to hit the 3 on the left, because I'm hoping this kills Saris. And if I can ghost those 3 blue tiles, and it did not kill Saris. Alright, well, we might as well match these blues and reds up against Bernadette right now then. We've got Lord Loki now. After Bernadette goes off, we're going to copy her special. Let's use our purple dragon. This should kill Saris and Thravaldi, maybe? Not quite. Now, Von Rothbart is finally not sleeping anymore. Let's match these 3 yellows, setting off that cascade of purples. I'm going to hit Hrothgar with Von Rothbart so that the dancing effect spreads. Actually, you know what? Let's hit Bernadette. I don't want to take any chances that kills Von Rothbart for some reason. All right, now that dancing will spread to Hrothgar. I don't want to kill Bernadette yet. Let's match these 3 reds. Actually, let's hit the purple, or rather the yellow dragon on the top left. That should have a safe no cascading. Perfect. And the silence did carry over. Let's match these 3 blues now and kill Bernadette. Let's match these 3 greens so that I can match the purples next turn. And everybody's silent now. Let's heal with Dia-chan. And everybody's dead except for Hrothgar. Let's see if Medea can kill him off. And she was able to. Awesome. We are now 4 for 5. Last flag left. With my last flag, we're going to bring a heavy blue stack up against this Bernadette tank team. I've got Nautica as a strong healer and to increase the mana of Ixen and Grimsteel. I've got Grimsteel for a healer, but more importantly, the attack and defense growth. Hogni, who is a hard hitter to 3. And then Bonzo is my sort of backup option. He activates in 7 tiles, and he rearranges the enemy formation so that Bernadette would not be at the tank position. So let's see how this last flag here goes. This is my war debut for Bonzo, actually. I haven't even limit broken him yet, but I'm out of Bernadette counters, so I'm using him as a backup option, which we are definitely not going to need. We have a really good board to start here, which I am not going to complain about. All right, I want to start off with the 3 blues on the top left, I think. I'd like to set off a blue diamond, but I don't think I really have the ability to. Yeah, I don't see anything. So let's set off the 3 blues on the top left. Then I can match 4 blues the following turn, and then hit the blue dragon and get a couple more blues up against Bernadette. But this might kill her right away. Not quite, but that cascade might. It did not. Okay, that's fine. Let's use Nautica. Actually, it worked out that she didn't, because Ixen has one of those chain effects where everybody has to be alive in order for her to really work. Let's use Grimsteel first, though, although I really hope the blind or the damage doesn't kill her. Okay, that like 30% chance that he has to give like 70% damage or something like that could have killed her and ruined my plan there. All right, let's use Ixen now. And then let's use Hogni on the right side over here. I'm more concerned about those two, although this should not be an issue. They're dead already. Let's ghost these purple tiles, and this might be a quick battle. Let's match these 3 greens so I can match 4 blues next turn. I don't think I want to use Bonzo. Actually, I'm curious how this is going to work out. Let's match these 4 blues first, and then next turn I am going to use Bonzo. So I'm going to have all my specials. All right, let's use Grimsteel first, and then I'm going to use Bonzo. I'm curious if the 2 just get swapped out in the positions they're at right now, or if they could end up somewhere else. And they do end up somewhere else. So that is very interesting. Okay, let's use Ixen on the left over here. Let's use our blue dragon, and we should be able to kill off everybody else. Just kidding. We didn't even need to use Hogni. The dragon killed off Verity, and we ended up going 5 for 6. Interestingly enough, we went 5 for 5 against Bernadette tanks, and then I lost against Gurik. It's also interesting because the war opponents we've been having have been very different, although we had Equalizer last week, so we didn't see any Bernadette tanks really because of that, and the fact that she's not very good for Equalizer, because the painting only lasts for up to 3 turns, which is really not an ideal situation. But I feel like we're seeing a little bit of a meta shift where Bernadette is finally getting phased out because of how long she's been in the game. Gurik has definitely been a problem. We've been seeing lots of purple tanks with Duelfiller and Hreidmar and a lot of the damage over time givers, especially with Fafnir giving the, I think it's 35% extra damage to 3. Plus, if you can get Fafnir and somebody like Hreidmar or Duelfiller and have the Arctic Core and the Molten Core damage, that is debilitating for an opponent. Definitely forces you to bring a Cleanser or a Reflector, and I feel like it's kind of increased the value of those types of heroes. Anyway, let me know what you think of this new potential meta shift. We are a top 25 alliance, so we definitely go up against some tough opponents, as you can see. And let me know how your Skyfire war went as well. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it or found it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subbed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.